Welcome, you're probably here if you're a beginner in chess or enjoy my other videos. Well, you're in luck. In this video, I will teach you to exceed in chess at beginner level with tips, tricks, recommended openings, common positions, etc., etc. Now, in contrast to popular belief, chess isn't all tactical thinking and hard IQ battles. A lot of it is actually memory, which we can improve easier than IQ, so don't worry if you're not the sharpest. Now, below 400 ELO, the Scholar's Mate Trap is the strongest option for you, as no one at your level knows how to counter it. Here's a short video of the trap in motion against a real player. Here Black fumbled an easy 4-move checkmate. This is very potent at beginner level, as you can see. But what can you do to defend it, you may ask? When your opponent brings out the queen, simply defend the center pawn. Then when they bring the bishop, strike back with the G/B pawn. They may transition like this, then you bring out the knight, stopping the Scholar's Mate attack as it defends the checkmate spot and is defended. Quite often, the opponent will blunder this fork of the queen and the bishop, and by the end, you will be ahead in development. The attack is gone, and your opponent has wasted moves. If the opponent, however, plays this variation of the Scholar's Mate first, still bring out the knight and play same moves as before. Now, a famous line from plenty of titled players: look for checks, capture, and attacks. Look at this position. There are plenty of good moves White can play. But remember, checks, captures, and attacks. White could check with a bishop, but it can be blocked easily. White could take the hanging rook, a viable and acceptable move. Look a little closer now. You can see the black king and queen aligned on the same file. Here, bringing out the rook would be an indirect attack to the king, and the queen can't move. Otherwise, the king is captured and you lose. Here, White tactically won a queen. Now that's dandy and all, but absolutely useless if you don't remember it. Improving your memory is a guaranteed way to naturally boost your tactical mind, as when you encounter new theory, it can be stored easily. For later, a study was once conducted, and it showed that chess players have a much better memory than an average person. You're probably thinking, how can I boost my memory? A couple methods are taking cold showers, eating, sleeping, and exercising well, constantly retrieving old information, etc., just to name a few. If possible, you should train your pattern recognition. There are plenty of websites online that could help you with this. Also, emotional control and patience will win you more games, not including bullet or blitz, as most often blunders are made when you rush in without thinking or don't stop to ask, hey, what's my opponent trying to do? This is a very useful bit to a newbie, as quite often they do not see what the opponent is doing, just what you are doing. Here's an exercise for you now. There will be no audio, simply background until the 5-minute mark, simply to test your patience. But if you are impatient and not willing to try, simply skip to the 5-minute mark. Ready? Go. Well done if you had the patience to wait. This just proves you have the potential to do well in chess. Now, to learn two very important chess tactics, sacrifices and deflection, take a look at this position. If the knight were to move, there would be a triple fork of black's pieces, but that move is unplayable by the bishop. If white were to sacrifice, you guessed, the rook. After black takes back, the fork is now possible. If black didn't take, they would simply lose the queen. Sacrifices don't need to be taken. They simply win material or an advantageous position if not taken. Now, deflection is like a sacrifice, but instead of winning material, you try and move an enemy piece away. In this position, white can queen, but it can be taken by the bishop and is a draw. But if white plays this check, the bishop must be taken or you simply lose the bishop. Now the bishop is no longer guarding promotion and you're safe to promote. Let's try and learn one more tactic, the discover check. New players typically don't see this coming, and it's quite egregious and powerful. A discover check is when a piece moves, and the piece behind it does a check. In this position, from a Vienna Gambit line, white plays this discover check and wins the rook. What about a more passive way to learn chess? Simply by watching other people play chess, you are engaging your mind in the game, and slowly but surely you'll get better. Chess creators like Gotham Chess, Grandmaster Hikaru, Witty Alien, many more, even me, you can watch and it'll be enjoyable and educational, though it isn't the most effective way to improve. Study the endgames. Typically lower elos love to trade everything down, which is okay, but isn't typically recommended. If you do opt for this route or see your opponents trying to trade everything down, after all trades you are now in an endgame. If you study the endgames, with your superior knowledge you'll easily win. Start with studying queen and king, rook and king and pawns, and just branch off from there. Now on a side note, opening theory isn't really relevant at lower elos. You're welcome to go the extra mile, however, and do study them. I mentioned you should play the scholar's mate before, but this is actually looked down upon and seen as disrespectful. If you don't want to do that, then learn the king's gambit as white and as black. Simply oppose whatever white does. If they bring out a knight, you should too. But don't copy too much, as that can lead to traps if your opponents realize. Remember, chess takes time to perfect. You can't be the best in a day. Play games, analyze them, and stay undeterred. That's how you really succeed. Now, are you able to go away and find these in your games? If this was helpful and you enjoyed, like the video, subscribe and share it so more people can be educated. It also helps support me as a creator. And one more thing, you're gonna crush it, bro.